Hot Dog Man. "Help! I can feel the branch breaking!" screamed 6-year-old Cassie. She was stuck up a large tree after trying to rescue her cat. She was stuck, although her cat wasn't. He was just sitting at the bottom of the tree looking up at her, wondering why she couldn't just climb down. Cassie was in trouble. The branch was going to break. However, all of a sudden, a large number of apples appeared below the branch. So many that they made a series of steps down from it. Cassie made her way down, and at the bottom of the tree was a rock. She looked at the rock, and it seemed like the rock was looking back at her. "Wait a minute," said Cassie. "I know who you are. You're Terry the Rock who can make apples appear." Terry didn't really like being known for this, but it was the only thing anyone ever talked to him about. "Yeah, that's me," he replied, quite grumpily. And with that, Cassie said thank you and skipped off with her cat, leaving Terry feeling really quite down. He didn't want to be known for making apples appear. He wanted to go to Mars. Terry decided he was going to go into town and get some food. On his journey, he discovered word had spread about his good deed. So many people, with smiles on their faces, congratulating him for his good deed. "You're a hero, Terry," said one man, waving at him with an impossibly big smile on his face. Terry didn't smile. Not because he was a rock. Terry could actually smile, even though he was an actual rock, but he never did. He hadn't smiled since he had realised he would never achieve his dream of going to Mars. When Terry got into town, he went to the hot dog stand. There, in front of him, someone else who didn't have a smile stood. "Hello, I'm the hot dog man. Do you want some food?" said a sad-looking man peering out of a little van. On the van it said, "Hot Dog Man." "What sort of food do you have then?" asked Terry. "Hot dogs," said the hot dog man. "I'd better have a hot dog in that case," said Terry the Rock, and then he paused. He could see Hot Dog Man wasn't happy, and he knew that he wasn't happy, so he decided to ask him what was wrong. Hot Dog Man took a deep breath and said that his sales of his hot dogs were down. He told Terry that soon he might have to stop selling hot dogs. "But, Hot Dog Man, what will you call yourself if you stop selling hot dogs?" "I don't know. I'll probably just be called Man," he answered. Hot Dog Man saw that Terry was not all that happy either. Terry was the saddest looking rock that Hot Dog Man had ever seen. "What's wrong?" asked Hot Dog Man. Terry the Rock looked back at him and told him, "Oh, I wanted to go up to space. Up and go into Mars, but instead I've hit rock bottom. All people want from me is my special power. I can make apples disappear at any time, and honestly, it's a bit annoying." Terry never got to go to Mars because it was too expensive, so instead he spent most of his time moping in the woods and occasionally going into town for snacks. While Terry was explaining this, Hot Dog Man suddenly looked a bit, well, not sad. "What are you smiling about?" asked Terry the Rock. Hot Dog Man explained that the only way he was going to be able to sell more hot dogs is if he had better, more interesting toppings. If Terry was to produce lots of apples, well, Hot Dog Man could make an apple sauce to go on his hot dogs. If he sold enough hot dogs and apple sauce, he would be able to buy Terry a trip to Mars. And with that, a brilliant partnership began. Terry produced lovely fresh apples every morning, and Hot Dog Man made a brilliant apple sauce. And you know what? People loved it. Within a few months, they had made half the money Terry needed to get to Mars. It was going really well until... "The name's Bad Dog McWurst." There was a new vendor in town. Bad Dog McWurst had the spiciest hot dogs for miles around, and he just pulled into town. He was mad and bad, but oh boy did his hot dogs taste good, mainly because they had a great apple sauce. Bad Dog McWurst somehow knew the secret to making a good sauce. How could he have known? One night, Terry was about to walk home to the woods where he lived when he noticed a shadowy figure sneaking about behind Hot Dog Man's van. He stopped and stood as still as a rock, which was easy for him to do. He noticed who the shadowy figure was. It was Bad Dog McWurst, and Bad Dog was stealing Terry's leftover apples, the ones he had made for Hot Dog Man. It was clear that Bad Dog McWurst was really very bad indeed. He was stealing apples, and if he kept doing that, Hot Dog Man's sales would go down. Terry knew what he had to do, so the next day, just before the sun went down, he used his powers to create a big trail of apples that went into the woods, deep into the woods. As the sun went down, Bad Dog McWurst arrived and started collecting the apples. But before long, he was deep into the woods, and he had no idea where he was. He got lost. Very lost. Bad Dog McWurst was a bit nervous and shouted for help. Terry felt bad. He didn't want anything nasty to happen to Bad Dog, so he went up to him and got him to make a promise. Bad Dog promised not to steal any more apples, and Terry led him back out of the woods and into town. As the days went by, Hot Dog Man sold enough hot dogs with apple sauce to pay for Terry to have his trip to Mars. Terry was delighted, and he asked Hot Dog Man if he wanted to come with him, because there aren't any hot dog vendors on Mars. Hot Dog Man said he would love to, but that he could never leave his family behind. He had a daughter called Cassie, who he loved very much, and she would miss her friends. "Oh, I think I've met her," said Terry. "She has a cat, doesn't she?" Hot Dog Man nodded, and Terry the Rock said his goodbyes. It was going to be a long journey, and he was sad there would be no hot dogs at the other end, but he was excited to at last fulfill his dream. He waved goodbye, climbed into the pirate ship, and turned to the passenger next to him. "Well, howdy again, partner!" It was Bad Dog McWurst. "I hope they like hot dogs on Mars. I'm taking my business somewhere new." Terry the Rock smiled. "I know of at least one person who would be very glad of a hot dog on Mars," said Terry the Rock. Thank you so much to Lorcan for the idea. Hot Dog Man. What a title. We could have gone in so many different directions with that, and we went in that way. I hope you really enjoyed it, Lorcan. Now, if you have an idea, particularly for a character that we can use, make sure you use the StoryQuest character creator over at funkidslive.com. And let's check in with our story master this week. It's Lorcan. Lorcan, you are our story master this week. You sent us the idea for the Hot Dog Man, which I love. What gave you that idea?
Because I like Dogman and there's hot dogs, and I like hot dogs.
Okay, so what do you think a superhero Hot Dog Man could be like?
Well, my version was a villain and it ate people.
So we've got a big hot dog. Is it a hot dog, or is he just a man that likes hot dogs?
It's a hot dog that eats people.
Okay, a hot dog that eats people. What's he dressed like?
Just looks like a normal hot dog with mustard on its tummy.
Okay. Has he got a cape on?
No.
But you know villains, right? Whenever we see villains in movies or in books, they're always wearing something that lets you know they are evil. What can Hot Dog Man wear?
He wears a very long hat that goes a million miles into the sky.
so we've got a walking hot dog, mustard down his belly with a gigantic hat, yeah?
Yeah.
What does he get up to? How does he eat these people?
He opens his big mouth and just chops their head off.
Lorcan, I've really loved chatting to you. You've been a fantastic story master. Thank you for joining us, mate. Got an idea for a story? Tell us the title at funkidslive.com/storyquest, and we could bring your story to life. For a new story each week, make sure you hit subscribe or follow so you don't miss a single episode.